I mean, we talk about people's form. Someone I want to highlight is James Boyd, obviously, who has been in fantastic form the last season. How have you got the best out of him?
Who's going? Yeah, I'll go.
Go on then. I thought you'd
Um,
frozen.
I think with Boydie, he's a joy to have. Do you know what I mean? We realise not how lucky we are. That's probably the wrong word, but we realise that we've got a good player and a really good player who can do a lot of things. I think when we came in, we spoke to Boydie early on, got to know him a bit better, found out kind of what makes him tick, and we just said to him, just go and give us everything, and then we'll go from there. We'll have a look at it. If we need to kind of switch it to some different position or we need to mess with something, we'll mess with it. But early on, he showed us exactly what he could offer us. His ability and his form across the entire season has just been unreal, and obviously the numbers and the stats, which I'm sure you've got to back up, do him justice. And I think a lot of people forget when you look at Boyd and you look at his stats, he's played left midfield all season. So for him to get the returns that he's got is just outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, obviously following on from that, I think the main thing for us was literally sitting down with the lad and finding out what he enjoys and how can we get, his love into the, onto the pitch. Because when you talk to him, he doesn't want anything. He literally just wants to play football, and it's so refreshing to hear that. He just wants to get out on that pitch and play well. And what we started to see with Boydie as we were going through this little erratic run at the start was he was one of the ones who was very vocal in the dressing room. He was very hurt by the fact that we were losing games week in, week out. And you can start to see the players who it means an awful lot to, and the ones who just, think, oh, well, that's football, And all we said to Boydie was, you're hurt by this. You have to be the one that goes and changes it for us. Be one of those, game-changing players. Go and win us games.
Yeah.
And, I mean, like Shane touched on there, 20 goals from the left-hand side of midfield is absolutely, brilliant. And, we've created a little role for him within the team that he enjoys. And it gives him the opportunity to go and find the ball when the ball's not finding him. And like I said, he's just having a lot of fun doing it. And I think, obviously, like everybody, enjoys scoring goals. People touch on the penalties. You can probably tell me how many penalties he's scored this season, but I'm sure it's 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And to just watch him take a penalty, anyone who's ever taken one will tell you, it's not as easy as just kicking a ball in the back of the net. And when we win a penalty, it's very comforting as management team to know that he's going to step up and take that penalty for you, because you'd like to think 95% of the time he's going to score for you. Yeah. And, like the one away at Burscough, even when he's hit a bad one, he might get a little bit of luck that bobbles over the keeper's arm and it goes in. But, I mean, it's just great. And the lad's got a lot of confidence. And as the season went on and on and on, he was just getting better and better and better. And, he's been a joy to work with, definitely.
So we've obviously touched on last season. Let's look ahead, a bit of optimism to next season, whenever that may be. How are preparations going behind the scenes?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm sure Shane will touch on it in a second, but I think we've prepped again. I think we've got about 16 different pre-season programs that we want to go with, and we're just like everybody else. We're sat on our hands. We really want to get going with the players. One of the most important things for us is trying to keep hold of the players that we've already got. And it's been a fantastic response from the lads. It's a great group. It's a brilliant knitted group that enjoy playing together. And so we're hoping, from the conversations that we've had, that all the lads will be ready to go for next season. As with everything in football, we'll be looking to bring in a few additions just to, pump up the numbers and obviously boost the quality and keep everybody on the toes. But yeah, we're more than ready. We can't wait to get a date so that we can put some dates around the stuff that we've been prepping for.
Yeah, I think I think, like you say, that's been one of the kind of silver linings, if you're trying to take positives out of the situation, is that we've been able to kind of thrash out in detail, kind of, like Luke says, a number of full pre-season plans, regardless of situation, regardless of whether we're starting June, July, August, 6 years' time, it doesn't matter, because we've got what we want, we know what we want to do, and the only thing we're really missing on our plans is a few teams to kind of put towards, fixture weeks and whatnot. But in terms of the training, the plans, and obviously the importance of talking to the lads and seeing where the lads are at, what they want, we've been fortunate we can do that, and we can, get around everyone and be as prepared as we can be. And that's not something that will stop. We'll constantly refine that and make it a little bit better and make it a little bit better and dig a little bit deeper. Because ultimately that's what we do. You know what I mean? We don't kind of sit down and think, right, we've got 6 weeks planned now, let's tell a month off. Because that's not going to get us where we want to be. We're constantly looking to move forward and progress. And if that's 1% at a time or 20% at a time, it doesn't matter.
I think one of the other points I just wanted to touch on was the fact of, how hard Lucy has been working for us during this period, our sports therapist. She's been putting together individual training programs for the players whilst they're in this downtime. We've got, there are different apps that we're all in together so that we can track how much work people are doing and how much they're not doing, and what the fitness levels are going to be like. And obviously, like Shane said, it gives us the opportunity to get stuck into a lot of data that we wouldn't normally be able to get stuck into, so that we can design a pre-season program around what actually needs to be done rather than just going through the motions.
So we're going to see a bit of old school hill running in pre-season, then up and down the sand dunes, or are you more of a in the gym refining the muscle?
I think probably a bit of both, to be honest. I think some of that old school stuff, as you described, is important, not only for the fitness, but also for looking at the attitudes and just observing the way lads react to certain things. But there's also a lot of different stuff that we've already done last season and we want to carry on doing. We want to go to different venues and try out different stuff. We might want to go and do a bit of box, something like that, or get the lads in the gym all together. We want to have that variety. We don't want it to be, right, you're running to Fleetwood and back because we've not thought of something better. So I mean, we want to kind of maximise small amounts of time that we do get and get the best returns from it.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, Shane's hitting the nail on the head there. That's, we're going to mix things up a little bit. There's going to be a bit of everything. We've done it a few times, since we've been in charge, where we've put in training sessions that basically we wanted to see the players' reaction to it rather than actually getting something out of it. And, it's very rare that we get a kickback where the players haven't been happy, or also if they're not happy, sometimes you've just got to suck it up and work hard. I'm sure there's nobody sat at home now saying, I can't wait to get back to Squires Gate so I can smash them sand hills. But when we get on there and we're working hard, we're going to utilise everything around us and, get the fittest bunch of players that we can get out of what we've got. And then obviously get them playing football the way that we want as well. There's going to be, the fitness element, of course, but we'll get the footballs out as soon as we can and do a bit of work, on the way in which we want to play. We're also going to, bring in the analysis side of things, look at what we did well this season and what we didn't do so well, try and eradicate the problems and hopefully, keep the positives that we've had from this season.
Just a final one. I know you've obviously touched on players and you spoke to the existing squad. I know you're not going to name names or positions, but how many are we looking to bring in the season? Are we looking to overhaul or just a few key spots?
No, from our point of view, we're really happy with the current squad that we've got, and obviously it's all dependent on if players were to move on or they didn't want to be with us anymore. But we'd be looking to bring in maybe 3 or 4 strong faces in key areas that are going to provide a competition for places. Nobody will ever come to this club and we say, yep, your first choice, you're walking straight in. The shirts are there hung up for everybody to try and fight for. And that's how it'll always be, no matter who you are. whether you consider yourself a top end player or, you know, that you're just starting out, you'll have, you know, just as much chance as everybody else to, you know, force your way in during pre-season. We do like to get our business out the way early. So we'd like to start pre-season with, you know, as close to what we feel the first team squad would be, so that they get, you know, a good 6 weeks working with us, so they understand our values and also the way in which the club wants them to be. And also at the same time, sometimes people just don't fit into the club. So we might be after somebody now, speak to them, they come in and they just don't think it's for them. You know, and we don't want to be left, you know, high and dry. We want to make sure that we've got the correct numbers, the correct cover, you know, barring injuries and suspensions, because obviously, you know, you never know. We've had a couple of players since we've been in charge that are on long-term injuries that we haven't seen for a long time. And, you know, if you're in that position during the season and you've not prepared for it, you'll have no backup at all.
Obviously, a bit of a bonus for you. It was announced last week that we'd be starting an under-18 side. Nick Grinley's under-16 side will be moving up. Is that something that we will see more of next season, a bit of a pathway through?
Yeah, of course. I think it's key for any club to have a pathway coming all the way through. And I mean, we're very keen to help the club as much as we possibly can. And we'd love to have them starting out at 3 or 4 on a, you know, Saturday morning, kicking a ball about an age group all the way through. And obviously, you know, leading into the under-18s. And, you know, again, it doesn't matter on your age. If you're good enough, you know, they're going to be involved with us. And we want to push them. We want to try and keep them involved as much as possible with training sessions and obviously during pre-season. You know, like we say, if they're going to be good enough, then that's a good thing for us. Nick obviously knows what he's doing and he knows his group of lads, and, you know, we're really pleased to have him involved as well.